Hey everybody, it's April 21st. We're gonna wait. We had five people show up, sign up, and four are in our associates group already. So they will be getting the Business Builder Toolkit. Keep in mind, next week I'll be showing the Legacy and Exit Planning Kit, and then we got some other resources. We'll be doing this the next five tonight and the next four Mondays. Just to give everybody an update, we do have the Patreon now. I will be loading up after tomorrow. I'll be loading up one more boot camp homesteading course on Agents Gather. So that'll give us the wholesaling course, multifamily, and then we'll do the fix and flips, and we'll also do the single family buy and holds for rental properties this week, and then we'll be doing adding eight more of those in June. There are also going right now 29 of the 99 courses are in the bronze bundle. That's just $99. By probably the end of June, there'll be 99 videos there covering a lot of stuff. The home study courses will be in the silver bundle, and then the gold will be our basically attorneys and lenders. Platinum will be mastery courses taught by and some very aggressive negotiating skills. They'll be pretty good, and then diamond we'll figure out later on. That probably won't happen until next year. Just to let you guys know, but we're doing Patreon for everyone that's in the associates group right now. You will get access to that. I'm working out the code. The courses and all that stuff will be on Agents Gather. We have a reindeer group there. We have the reindeer group and the reindeer page on Facebook, as well as Private Money Associates. So we also, like I said, have the Patreon, and then a lot of stuff going on. The books are going to be on basically ebooks. For now, there'll be a zip file, and for everybody in the associates group, I'll make sure you get them. They are heavy files. Then all the books will be available like Amazon, the print on demand, like there's a Barnes and Noble print on demand. There's some other ones. And also audiobook. Versions will probably be slower, probably June, July. I'll probably do a few of them. There's going to be about four to five of the books. So it's going to be the deals, dirt, and discipline. There's also ledgers lessons. There's going to be one on all the negotiating scenarios, all kinds of role playing. There's going to be a whole directory on lenders and stuff, and there's going to be about five or six in total, plus a few like a lot of ebooks and stuff. And then I anticipate with soft cover print on demand. You basically go to Amazon, you order it, it prints it and ships it to you. It's a pretty cool process. We will probably have some hard copy limited edition, maybe have two of them at least, maybe three. I don't know. We'll figure that out. And then audiobooks as well. So you'll be able to get that. But everything is available to you from the associates group. It's just trying to figure out how to deliver it to you because it's a pretty heavy file. I mean, it takes a lot to deliver, but it'll be a zip file. Right now, for everybody outside the group, I can actually set it. I'm setting it up on not only in Patreon and the tiers, the four tiers, which I'll talk about later on, probably next week. On next week's Zoom, I'll have the Patreon with the four tiers set up. I'm going to be doing a discount code, trying to figure out how to do it so I can give it to, for the top tier, obviously, what they call the syndicator level. It's really the highest tier that we're going to have for all the associates. So that way you guys can migrate in, get all the resources. It's going to take me all the way to about the 30th. So May 1st, we'll be live for the associates in that group. And then obviously at Agents Gather, you guys want to get with Danny to get on Agents Gather, and then if you guys need a blog and all that stuff, if everybody needs to blog, we can or post and all that. I've got 100 things you can blog or post about, and I can give you actually the entire text. Hey, James, what's up? Let me see. Are you here? There you are. No. So yeah, I'll be able to give you all the texts and all that stuff. So you'll actually be able to so everybody will be able to actually blog and post on there if they choose to. It's very good if people do that. So if people want to blog and post, it actually helps you promote yourself and really get your name out there. So I got a lot of stuff going on tonight. I'm just going to show the builder toolkit, and it's kind of explain how it works. Hey James, what's up? Right now, I just got Philip Sparks. He's in our group. I got his note taker on taking notes. I just want to let you know. This is something I just do every once in a while for a couple of weeks just to promote the group and what's going on. So obviously, like I was just telling everybody, I'm gonna go and show the Business Builder Toolkit on YouTube, at least the video I did, and then everybody here in the group already, so you're already gonna get that and the legacy and everything. We had 5 people outside the group sign up, but sometimes we'll get like one, sometimes we'll get like 5. That's kind of how it works. So I'll show it on YouTube and stuff. And then if you want to talk, I mean, I could even go off recording. I just get everybody a thing that we've got the Patreon now. And a lot of the stuff will be on Agents Gather as well as the Patreon as well as Patreon. So all the stuff on that you can do with Danny on Agents Gather and do with the courses are there. There's gonna be a lot of other stuff that I can't really do too well on Agents Gather. I'm doing on the Patreon, and all the associates, including yourself, will have the link. Like a discount code. I'm going to be building the rest of it out this week and going live with that May 1st as far as having a discount. You go and it's just, I just have to put a discount code in to go to the top tier, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff there. So kind of cool. A lot of stuff going on. It's just a lot easier there to do a lot more stuff, and I don't have to wait. I can do all kinds of stuff on Patreon that I can't really do on Agents Gather. So it kind of gives us really a lot of ways to promote and that brings resources to you. So that said, I'm just gonna real quick show the Business Builder Toolkit, just the video I did. Um, just the video kind of I'll explain what it works because a lot of people are thinking it's gonna be let's see, make sure. Uh, I have this issue sometimes with Zoom on showing stuff. All right, cool. So yeah, this is cool. So I'm gonna go real quick to oh, Phillips is coming on. Hey Philip, what's up? So I'm gonna go to my real quick to to my channel. So keep in mind that even though we have there's a lot of public videos that I have on here. I do keep all the ones that I give to you guys are locked down, so no one can watch them but the people in the group. So there are a lot of free ones, but I stopped pretty much putting a lot of free ones up there. And of course, I got Jack Ledger's picture from because he's our character. He's kind of like our version of the Gecko, or those kind of characters, Mayhem for Allstate and stuff. So real quick, go into our screen. Let me kind of see if it should come up. Well, there you go. Channel content. As you guys can see, I mean, today, right now, here I loaded and I'll put these on Agents Gather tomorrow. Here's the 8 modules for the wholesaling course that'll be added. We've already got the 8 here this is basically the multifamily. So legacy and exit planning kit. Here's the business builder kit. We'll go over the legacy and exit planning next week. But these are a lot of these other videos that I've already got onto Agents Gather. So, like I said, I've added a couple more. I'm going to show tonight. I think real quick, I'll show the Business Builder Toolkit, and then I'm going to show a Welcome to Reindeer Organization video, which actually is free. We do have a free version, which is for people, and that's featuring, our obviously our spokesperson, which is a character. So let me pull up real quick on the Business Builder Toolkit. So basically, what a lot of people need. Pull it real quick. Let me get it. So what a lot of people I find it in the 5 years I've been doing this, and the 9 years total, is a lot of people need a framework. They need to. I'm trying to just make it easier and get it. We'll just pull it up directly. Um, there you go. Nope, keep doing that. I know I gotta fix. I gotta pull this up the right way. I'm not used to having this view. What I got. Okay, there you go. Okay, cool. So this is the Business Builder Toolkit, and like I said, this is only a couple minutes. What this really does is this gives everybody kind of a framework. The toolkit I have separately than the video. This video just talks about a little bit. So I'll kind of stop talking for a minute. Okay. So just kind of to go out from that video, I'm going to show you guys one more, other video I did. Just get to it real quick. The one that I just did today, promoting with the group. But what it is it basically is like a framework. So I'm giving you like I mean, almost like a skeleton. Many of the tools are there, but it does give you a lot of different tool ideas. A lot of people have different ideas of other tools they can, other tools they can use. That they can acquire some on their own, but it gives you kind of a guideline. Here, do you want to what kind of, so it's pretty cool. Altogether, I've listed about 165 different tools and things, and some of them we have, some of them I'm getting. So it's kind of like a puzzle, kind of like collecting sports cards, or when kids collect those Pokemon cards and stuff. It's pretty cool. So basically, the business toolkit is something that everybody will be able to download. It isn't a zip file right now, so I'm just trying to, like, the books and stuff that I've talked about. A lot of it can be kind of heavy, so I'm trying to make sure that people can get it access to it without, like, having to be. I don't know how long it takes to download, maybe 10 minutes or so. It's pretty involved. There's several different files within the file because it's zipped. Just trying to find a more efficient way to keep everything together. So when you guys get it, you get a lot of templates. There's some things in there, like I said, with the Patreon and then even at Agents Gather and the Facebook groups, I'll post stuff that will be added to it. So you guys can see, like, when we develop things, when things are ready to upload, you can take them. You can actually then take them and add to that toolkit. So you're actually having a kit to build. It's like having one of those big tool chests from Sears, and maybe you buy it with the 1,000 tools or whatever, the big, $5,000 one, or somebody buys just, the case and maybe some small tools, and you keep, like, going to, I mentioned Sears, who's out of business, of course, or go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get those toolkits, and you keep just adding tools, buying tools, acquiring all the tools you need. It's so some of them come with the toolkit, and most of them don't. But at least you got the framework, and a lot of times you can collect stuff you see, from other people. It's pretty cool. So it's a pretty cool process. So I'm just going to make sure that everybody in our associates groups has them. You guys already get them 100. For anybody outside the group, they will, who comes on to the Patreon or comes into Agents Gather for the courses, will be able to acquire them as well. I'm going to show real quick this new one that I've done. I have not, I've only heard this once. This is something I put together. This is with the Jack Ledger, who is a character that I created with AI. So he's good. You guys are going to see a lot of him. I don't know if this is the voice. I'm going to use it. Yeah, this is kind of cool. So I put a little, there you go.
Not sure why you had to press over end, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on trying to find a different voice. I'm gonna shorten down the scenes to, like, 7 seconds at a time. Hey, Marcel's coming on. She hasn't been in a while. So the hustler, these are the 4 levels you're gonna see of Patreon, which starts with the hustler, and you guys are at the top level as associates. Hey, Marcelo, what's up? How are you? I'm showing one of my YouTube videos I just generated. So these are the 4 levels, like I said, of the tiers for Patreon. So like I said, I'm going to shorten this down to maybe 5 seconds instead of 10 seconds for the scenes. All of you, the associates, all of you guys will actually have be on the syndicator level. Like I said, I just got to shorten it down to about 5 seconds instead of 10, and I'm good. I think it's pretty cool. Other than that, right. 'Cause that's public, so you guys can go to the YouTube and see it. It's not anything that I have locked away like I do with all your guys' stuff. that you only get to see. But like I said, I'm going to shorten it down to 5 seconds each of those scenes. So that I'm trying to find a different voice. So since you guys are all in the associates group, you get everything anyway. So nothing I'm promoting that you don't get that I'm showing here. But what Jack is supposed to be, so it gives you like what are you trying to build the character? Let me try to go make sure I turned it off. Yeah, well here it is a second. Let me go back to it real quick. Yeah, it'll end. I'll just let it end. So yeah, I haven't done too many of these with YouTube. Okay, there we go. Go back to the shelf share. So Jack is supposed to be like if you take the likability of Mike Rowe, the everyman, common man from Dirty Jobs, and then you throw in the comedy and the comic timing of like Dennis Leary, the comedian and actor. Then you throw in on the far end, you got the financial credibility of J.P. Morgan, the original J.P. Morgan, and then throw in two. Here's the oddballs. If you guys look up who David Sterling is, and it's Stirling, and Patty Mayne, they were two of the founders of the British SAS back in 1941. The SAS Rogue Heroes miniseries on the second season, they're very brash and bold, like those guys were. So it's basically a character to basically it becomes a spokesperson, and I've made about 15 videos with him already. It's pretty cool. I haven't got the right voice yet of the AI voices, but I'm able to do a lot of stuff and help you guys out. So like I said, we got the Business Builder Toolkit, the Legacy and Exit Planning Kit. You guys get everything because all three of you, and Philip, James, and Marcelo, you're all in the associates group. We had 5 people who were not in the program sign up tonight. So I don't give them, like I said, I was going to give everybody the builder's kit. You guys already get them. So basically, I don't give them away unless people like these I get are like my giveaway, my lead-ins. It's kind of giving people like a framework. Like it's like the parting gift, Price is Right and Wheel of Fortune. So it's like, here's your gift or whatever. Because there's a lot of these kits, these toolkits that people still got to collect and when we post them, go grab them and download them for you if you want them. There's more than 100 things in there, but it also, in some cases, it gives you actually where to go to get something. So when it talks about like getting like there's some stuff you can just go to Google on, you can go to templates on. There's some sources, you can go to different websites and stuff and get resources, or for travel trackers and things like that, you can actually, it's a pretty cool system. So it kind of helps you build out your whole toolkit. When it gets to legacy and exit planning, it talks about, to go get a trust attorney. I'm giving you like five. I like, unlike a lot of places, I give you guys a few sources, people that I know about. Like in Wyoming, there's 3 companies. If you want to get an LLC in Wyoming, I put those in there for LLCs. We do the LLC video for lawyers for this. And, there's about 5 or 6 syndication securities attorneys who help people raise capital. I put the contact information in so people can at least know who, and I'm saying just because I know them or know of them or know people who have used them. So I try to give you guys the resources so these kits, you guys can just take those resources. If you're not doing raising capital ever, you don't need a securities attorney, you'll never need one. But it's always good. A lot of this stuff is good to have access. And that's what I try to do with these toolkits rather than all the education. A lot of the education stuff it's going to be on Agents Gather and it's going to be on Patreon. And there's it's like when I went through Lee Arnold's program for the private money broker in 2017 and 18, I did the certified course, which is 1,540 hours. They have a master course, which I was going to take. Then COVID happened, and that's where you actually fly on Sunday up to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, to Colville Capital is up there, and you spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning. You fly out like Friday night or Saturday, and you actually spend 4.5 days working in their different departments, their loan processing, the marketing department, you work in their transaction coordination, you work in underwriting. So you actually work with their people as you become a master. So we're going to do the bronze and the silver level are really going to be like the bronze is kind of the introduction, very much just modules. They're all individual. Whereas the bronze will have like those 8 videos, like I showed for the wholesaling and the multifamily. There's 8 modules. Each module can have, will start out with, and they'll have to have prerequisites. You can't jump to 7 and 8 without going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what happens is a lot of these, what I've been able to do is generate a lot of these training documents, like a training analyzer. It gives like the 10 or 12 things you got to look for in an analyzer, and it kind of just gives you a base of everything has like a base, and then you build on that. At module 7 and 8, you start picking up the real world document. You get the real world, 2 real world multifamily analyzer. You get one that'll really, if you're doing loans, if you're, then there's one that's if you're going to do syndication, because it's a lot more. When it gets into syndication, you've got to do all the returns, investor returns, the waterfall, all the stuff that you would have to do for, it's pretty extensive. There's like 7 sheets for that in the multifamily syndication analyzer. So as they build up, then they start getting the real world document. Each one of those modules, each one of those home study courses, there's a home study to boot camp, and I'll explain that. The home study, everybody will probably pick up somewhere between 1 to 5 documents on each one of the 8 modules. Like I said, modules 7 and 8 are where the real world documents are. So by the time they get to 7 and 8, they're ready to actually do some deals. Then the gold level, like I said, will be attorneys. It'll be all of our lenders. The platinum level is going to be mastery courses. There's only, and that's what I'm working on. Kind of started toying around with. There'll be more. There'll be negotiations. I've got 100 scenarios, and I basically have these scenarios. I go in, you can actually get the style of the characters. So I'm taking this guy. He's very bold, brash, confident. He's financially competent, like on JP, and he's got the comedic sense. So it's got a lot of these scenarios, and there's a lot of role playing. There's also a lot of objections. I did one today, 100 objections. And there's from 1 to 25, 26 to 50, up to 70, just 25. So if you're talking to buyers, you got 25 scenarios, talking to lenders, 25 scenarios, talking to wholesalers, and 25 scenarios, talking to buyers. So it gives you 100. And I've done like 3 sets of 100. There's a lot of stuff, and you guys will have access to all these, obviously, as associates. So the cool thing is there's a little humor, because this guy, like I said, if you guys watch us, just go to YouTube and watch Rogue Heroes, and just watch the video where General Montgomery's doing well, James, you probably, and you, Philip, know who General Montgomery was, and how much he was like, he was like almost as bad as Patton. Like if you one button was off on their uniform, well, he inspects the SAS, and he goes, uh, Major Maine, why are all your soldiers drunk, disorderly, insubordinate, and dressed like savages? Because they just destroyed like 300 aircraft on the ground just themselves, So they he so they're very brash and bold, and I like that. I want people to, because it kind of gives humor. People want to find it also, if people start mirroring some of the how he talks, and how he, and you'll read a lot of it, but eventually it'll be on the video where you can hear an AI voice. I'm still trying to find the perfect voice, actually in communication, and we can do like the people objecting, and I can actually dial in and have different people objecting in different tones. And it's kind of cool that way. So that's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen right away. So a lot of the stuff will be in text, but you'll have a quick guide. You'll have the 5 or 6 books. I've already showed you, like Ledger's Lessons, and I've showed the other one is the Deals, Dirt, and Discipline, which is 220 pages. The thing about it, I have to put all these onto with all the Amazon and all that stuff. I've got all the formatting. I got all the stuff for the ISBN numbers, all that stuff. I've got it, so it just have to be uploaded. Right now, everything I said is you guys can get. I just have to be able to get it to you, like zip files or whatever, and you have to be willing to, you know, you may not want to get them all at one time. But like I said, I'm going to make them available for all you guys, and I've got a few more to do this week. And like I said, the whole goal is to have the for the levels of the Patreon, the 4 levels. You guys will obviously be the syndicator highest level. You'll have the code to get in. You're free. It's set up for, that way you don't have to, since you guys are already in. Agents Gather, I know James, you're there, so I don't know if you've been able to get with Danny or not yet. But everybody that's on Agents Gather will work on we'll be able to work on a lot of stuff there as far as you guys getting your stuff out, and then at some point, I think Danny and I are going to we're going to figure out how to basically do a link where it could do API for the Patreon into the Agents Gather advice. And so that way people can access both when people join as a community. Because the highest Patreon level is $99 a month. That's what I've been talking about. It starts at $5. $5 is very rudimentary. We can get a lot of people in. The good thing is you guys are associates, whatever Will said, and Marcelo, you've been around a while. So you guys can actually get a lot of people to do deals with. People who want to bring in wholesale to you, they want to lend money to you, or you want to do deals with them. So there's a lot of people that will be coming into that $5 a month, $15 a month, 35, and then they may want to upgrade. And like I said, $3.99 was what everybody paid to get in. Eventually the lifetime is going to be exponentially more. But we're not trying to do this as like you. We're trying to do this as like, this is kind of like going to Amazon or going to like somewhere and being able to just pay one time, and you could basically take anything you want from Amazon for one fee for life. If people could do that, it's a resource library, and you guys become the resource. Because I think a lot of times I'm better at just generating this kind of content than me having to sit on a Zoom or something. Like, I'm not a guru. I don't want to be out there doing that. It's we're going to be doing some live events and stuff. There's also an affiliate program. A lot of stuff that you guys will see get ramped up on the Patreon, which will be awesome. And then you guys promote it. Like I said, you guys have revenue share of both of all the courses on Agents Gather, and then off the Patreon, you guys will get a share of everything. So you can promote it. There'll be affiliate links and stuff like that. I'm gonna say that even though it'll be live May 1st, it'll probably be June and July before everything's rolled out and up there. Like I said, that you guys will get a lot of the updates in the Facebook group. The other Facebook group's the one I did for Ledger's Lessons. I did another one for the book, Dirt Deals and Discipline, or Deals, Dirt, and Discipline. And then obviously the reindeer, the two groups, there's a page and a group. The page will be pretty much promotion. The group is where you guys are at now. So it's kind of cool. So I think a lot of stuff's going on. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff where I'm giving you like the framework. So it's like having it's kind of like handing you, a set of building plans. You still got to go get the contractor. You still got to get the materials and put the house together. But here's the blueprint. Here's all the plans. Here's all the engineering. It's all there. Now I'm going to help you put in some of it that I've got access to, and I've got a lot of ready-made stuff, ready-made analyzers, documents, all the stuff you guys see in Files tab, all the stuff that I'm putting there. Today I revamped about three different documents that I have. So you'll have access to a lot of the ready-made stuff. And then as I develop stuff, there's also the options if you want to do some of your own, if you're good at doing formulas on Excel, you can do it yourself. And then if people do those items and they want to upload them, then as we sell them, we want to make them available, obviously, to everybody in the group, but anybody outside the group, if they want to come and buy something, we can monetize it so you can get a little compensation or whatever for it. But you can also have somebody else build something for you. But the good thing is you've got a list. You've got a library, and you can fill in the blanks. It's kind of like filling in, I need this form, I need this form. There may be out 165 things, 100 of them you don't need, 150 of them you don't need. But at least then you get a list, and a lot of people are going down, crap, I need that. I never thought about that before. So I've revised it. I've asked ChatGPT and AI and Grok, both of them at least 5 times. I've revised that list. I've gone back and forth and said, this is for real estate investors. It's not for the conventional. Sorry, it's not for conventional real estate. It's so we've kind of revised it. A lot of people say I'm using it because I got the pro version, and I'm just going in and I go to the list, and then the next day I'll go back and I'll put it to the list. And sometimes because I have the pro version, the free version, I'll do something to the pro version and I'll go upload it to the free version and ask because just to see if it comes up as different, something different. So it's really good. So there's a lot of good stuff. I've got a lot of good content for you. And like I said, this is going to help also recruit a lot of people because, a lot of people are going to be like, I'll go try it for $5 a month or 15 or 35. Those guys will come in and then they'll start upgrading. And then we'll do the 3.99, but it'll probably be a lot more. I mean, I know some people are getting, and I paid $1,500 for my private money broker class. I don't like to charge, I wouldn't like to charge that much if I didn't have, because I think a lot of people, I'd rather have people save their money to put into deals. And that's a whole another idea behind the revenue sharing. Give people some money back so they can start putting in their business. Like it's your money. Once we start doing revenue share, you can do whatever you want with it. But ideally, we're trying to ask people to put it in their business because, if we get up to 10,000 subscribers and we got that kind of money and we're putting out, everybody's making $1,000 a month or whatever, that can help a lot of people with their business expenses, do their marketing, maybe go to the MPLA conference, or we're going to eventually try to do our own conferences. We've also got a setup I'll be rolling out for people to not only be affiliates, but also people can host meetups, and we have all the curriculum, just like these foundational or these building plans that I have. There's a kit for like hosting a meetup, and it gives you the organization and it gives you the sign up sheets and things like that. So you have the templates. So they take the templates and make up your own schedule. So a lot of people don't have to go out there and figure out everything you need. A lot of people go and try to do a real estate conference and they have to come up with everything from scratch. We're already going to have that for everybody. I've also divided it up into 250 territories from coast to coast, sea to sea, and everything. And we're going to revise that a little bit because it came up with six like regions. There's really more regions. There's like a Pacific, Rocky Mountain, Southwest, Southeast, so we're probably going to go to 10 or 12 regions. That doesn't really mean anything, although, if we do a regional conference or something like Pacific, there might be one like that covers Washington, Oregon, another one in California or something. But then basically giving a territory where people can actually go in and basically build up the real estate network in that area. There's 200. I asked for 250 cities, and it went from like what is it, Alabama, all the way down to Washington, Wisconsin, and all that stuff. So I'm going to try to revise that because there's like some states had. I think Colorado's listed like eight or nine cities that are, and I'm like really outside of Denver, Fort Collins, Colorado Springs, Western Slope. There's like maybe four or five places, and here and just that listed seven or eight. I mean, there's a lot of those of you who haven't been to Colorado. There's obviously a lot of suburbs around Denver because I live in one of them. But trying to revise that as well, and it'll be first dibs if you guys want a territory, I'll give every associate one territory. If there's some overlap, like we have a couple of people in Houston, but if there's some overlap, then we kind of got to go the next place over or choose another one. We'll give everybody associates that's already paid. You basically have it and then the ones that are left over will be the ones that we market to the general public if people are interested in, and it's just up to you if you want to have that, or help recruit somebody else that wants it if you're in Wisconsin or something and somebody wants Wisconsin but you don't want it. Well, you can, you know, if somebody wants to get the territory, I'll give you guys like, if I don't know what we're going to price them at, but they're fully equipped and it's fully equipped to do the boot camps. So going back to the boot camps, everything that's online is basically a home study course, but there's also a boot camp. And like I said, there's a framework. There's a template for doing everything associated with hosting like a 2 day to a 4 day boot camp. Most boot camps really try to do are like a 2 day. These are designed for four, but we can compress them, and there's a lot of stuff people can complete at home study, but that way the affiliates or the people locally can actually modify them. The slide decks are like one has 73 slides. They've got the slide in the general education, but then people can expand it up to 100, 120. They can do more slides. They can start putting in local pictures, their things like that, so they can localize it. So you guys think about like having it's all standardized. Everything's consistent and standardized. So if you go to Wisconsin, but you're from Oregon. Well, the Oregon and Wisconsin boot camps and the local stuff will all look alike to a certain degree, but then there'll be a local delivery of local content because you're not going to find a lot of people doing like a regional or local event. Or it's two different places. California is different than Alaska, things like that. So that way people can deliver locally. But we're gonna eventually have also like a big national, maybe one or two a year. I'd like to have at least one or two, like where we do, we have 5 or 6 tracks going on. And I've done I did the MPLA conference. I did a couple with a gentleman named Adam at Blue Spruce in Colorado. They're a huge syndicator operator for apartments and stuff here. I've gone to like 3 or 4 of Adam's events before COVID. He hasn't done any live events since then, but I've probably gone to 30 or 40 real estate conferences and events and all that. But I also went to a ton when particularly when I was in the fire service. I went to like what they call the FDIC, which is all of, and then I went to the Fire Chiefs Conference. But FDIC is in Indianapolis, and it's at the where the Colts play, and it's like 3 or 4 days, and you walk in there, and it's all the fire truck manufacturers are there, and you walk in and see all the brand new aerial trucks, the ladder trucks. I got all the ladders up, and like the companies will compete. Like Pierce will be here, but E1 will put their ladder going this way, even though it's booths here. It's kind of cool. So I used to go to those all the time. That's where a lot of instructions. So we want to have, I have a lot of going to conferences experience, and we want to put on a national conference. So the whole idea is trying to get this to its national and standardized, and we get a name out there, just like, the Gators. Everyone knows the Gators through Pace, but obviously we want to be where everybody gets to know when somebody's associated with this organization, there's credibility. They know that they can close deals, and they know that they can analyze the deals properly. And then the idea is looking at different components, going from lead generation all the way to closing and disposition, is having systems, consistent systems in place. That's part of what this toolkit is that I was talking about tonight. So like I said, it's just like a lot of the stuff for you guys because it's going to be a little bit heavy on zip files, getting stuff to you because I don't want to like separate and put 17 individual files in because we know some people are going to download 9 of them and they're going to ask me where the other 8 are. And you and James and you and Marcella probably both know how much experience you have with zip files, like something disappears or so it's trying to stay on top of it. I'm also making a lot of copies of thumb drives just to have backups on everything. Because I've put a lot of time in this. I'll probably put 80 hours in this week, getting everything and probably through maybe May. I really don't expect to have too much of a break until the summer. And like I said, my back end happens obviously off the revenue off of it. So it's kind of cool. If you guys got any questions, if not, like I said, I'll turn the recording off. We can talk about other things or look forward to Thursday. Thursday will stay as the regular associate night. And then these the next 4 Mondays after this, next week on the 28th, the 5th, the 12th, and the 19th will be dedicated to like this kind of format. I'm trying to bring some new people in to, enticing them a little bit with these toolkits because there's a lot of resources a lot of real estate investors could use. They can get a better organized, and then at least they got an idea what they need. It's kind of like going to a catalog. Cool, Marcella. Good catching up with you. I know I haven't talked to you in a couple months, so cool. Hey, try to come on Thursday. I'll make sure I'll send you the invitation. So, James, do you have any questions or anything? Or
I don't think so. Just processing everything. It's a
yeah, I
lot of
know
information. So
yeah,
yeah,
uh,
but it's great stuff. I just need to
yeah, and
get
then
it
just
downloaded and get through it. So
yeah, and then just
yeah,
I want to, everything kind of get a plan, and then I'll try to make sure that everybody's on the Zooms. What are you focused on? Because obviously people can get a lot of more information than they probably need at any given time. That's why I'm trying to break some of
right,
this up a little bit and not do this on a Thursday night. Only have people that have deals and they're in the group and they have deals to talk about. Ideally, that's what I want to do. I try to separate. I want 3 hours on these Zooms on Thursdays. That's what I time it for, so people can come on and talk deals once we do the intros, but like I said, obviously that one with Dan went over a lot of over people's heads. I know Jesse and Feline,
Ari. So
yeah, and Ari, all those guys are like but Ari's awesome because he does some very basic
right,
flips and he goes all the way
yep,
up. He just has a big void
yep,
in a certain area.
in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah,
So when
so
you
we
say talk about deals like on Thursday, how does that look? Like,
well the idea on Thursday is sometimes it helps if you like just hit me up a messenger. Hey, I got a deal to talk about. Because if people come on and they tell me
okay,
they got a deal, as soon as you're on, I'll tell everybody, hey, James has a deal. As soon as he's on, I'll introduce you. You can talk about your deal. If you have anything to share, I can share screen. I can give you a co-host where you
yep,
can share screen if you want to share screen. If you want to share that to, if you do want to share it with me early, that's to your benefit, but it's not necessary. And then, like I said, Ari's pretty good about being on a couple times. He'll be on for a couple weeks in a row. But if there's something really pressing, I'll try to get him on and some of the other lenders. Some of them just got busy where I know I can get them to you. This new format with everything we're doing with agents gather and all that stuff is trying to do a deal desk. I have a deal desk concept, and it's going to take some work it's probably not going to be done I mean, for a while. I'd like to have a where people can put their deals in, and it's like a chat bot. You can do it manually, but if you
Mhm.
want, you can do a chat bot where it goes, "What do you look? What are you doing?" And then it'll start asking all the questions because you can train AI to do that, and then you start building it.
Wow.
And then at the end, you answer all the questions, and at the end, it basically will then crunch all the numbers, and you can save it, and then you can press send, and it should go to all the lenders in our group. And the lenders are going to keep coming because they're going to see how quality this is. I talked to a lot of lenders. Right now, what I'd say is you come on and just have your numbers. If you got anything like that to produce, to show us, that's cool. I've been huge on recommending Company Cam, which is that free app. It's awesome if you've got
Yeah.
an iPhone, especially. I don't know how it works on Android. I used it when I was doing construction, and it's awesome. I had 22 jobs going at one time. I was the owner of the company, so I had a lot of houses, a lot of doing insurance claims. I'd have to go out and take all the pictures ahead of the time. I take them in progress because there's some things the insurance company doesn't pay for until it's done. So I had to take.
Mm.
I always overtook pictures. Like we do space decking, that old when they used to do the space decking on the roofs. We take the roof off and you have to resheathe it. So to get them to pay for that, which is really lucrative as well too, by the way, I had to go take pictures and I'd have to take measurements like several different places on the roof. I overdid things, but I use Company Cam. It's so good and it's
Mhm.
free. So I tell people when you're going out to look at a property, now if you're doing virtual, it's hard, but if you can get pictures, that helps also. Ideally, if people do Company Cam, they can take them before they bring them, and then during the process of rehab, take them and then show the end result. It's to your benefit, to
Right.
everybody's benefit. And the cool thing is you can go and you can build a file 123 Main Street. You get your file for that property. You go all the way through the process. You can put in notes for every one of the pictures. You can go back in. This is the kitchen, things like that. You can organize that. You can tie it into where you can actually, because what happened with me is I had, I learned it from a guy I was working for, and then I started my company and I used it. Where he had his production manager, the sales manager, he did his finance manager, the guy that in his company that negotiated insurance claims. They all had access to everything, so they'd see the pictures coming up. And the good thing is they were able to build all the stuff for the insurance company. Here, I'm envisioning being able to show it to your lender and saying that you're getting your draws. Okay, all this is work. Here's the kitchen. Your contractor's happy.
Right.
You require them in the contract to take pictures. You can link them to Company Cam. It doesn't cost any extra. They go get the free. You two can then link your contractor is uploading stuff, and that way that you can upload. You may or may not get your lender on, but if you're lending money, you could actually mandate that to your borrower. You get Company
Right.
Cam, load the pictures, and that's going to make it a lot easier for me to give you your draws or give you the money. If we're gonna give it to you in pieces. So there's a lot of resources, and I don't think I'm probably the only person in the entire real estate investing industry that talks about Company Cam. So it's a tool that a lot of people
I,
don't
I,
know.
I use
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Company
use
Cam's
it. I use it in my flip business and I also use it in my design business. Some of my customers have it and they'll
yeah.
like post
Because
pictures of stuff with notes and I can respond back.
one
Yeah.
of the things I did, and it took like a couple hours. I do some stuff where I plug it on. I like do my research, push. It's doing the analysis and research for like a couple hours at night, and then it'll ping me,
Mhm.
and I'll get up and say. And it's like the other night, I came up with one. If I could gather the data of Exactimate, if I could gather data of HomeWise, and I could connect Company Cam. My friend Jared Rash from Metro, who's the guy that I work for that introduced me to Company Cam, he has Scope Technologies, my Scope Tech. It's a huge. His company does aerial measurements. I mean, he started as a roofing company. He was the guy
Mhm.
he told Owens Corning he was going to be a platinum contractor within 3 years. They're like, no, everybody tells us that. No one's done it. He did it in 2.5 years. Was a platinum contractor. He's done 25,000 roofs, has like a 96% satisfaction rating. And he started Scope Technologies. He has a He does very little roofing anymore. He doesn't do really any hail work. He does stuff for people because there's people that have had 2 or 3 roofs from him. Because obviously Denver is hit by hail almost every year. Like I had a customer sign a contract in the driveway blank. He said, just go get me another roof by Metro and all that shit.
Wow.
But he started, he went, he does a lot of work in Aspen and Vale because it's obviously pays more, to go do
Right.
the work in Aspen, the cement roast and the tile roast in Aspen and all that stuff. But
Right.
he started Circle Technologies. He has an entire the entire 50th floor Republic Plaza in Denver, which is one of the tallest buildings in the sky. It's not the one that has the cash register like looking top,
Hmm.
but it's probably the
Right.
next one from it in the Denver skyline. He has the 50th floor, the entire floor, and all he has is people in there doing pictures all day. All they do is aerial measurements, and they send out like
Wow.
really detailed, and they have risk scope, insulation scope. Because I sold insulation for them, he'd sent me on insulation appointments. I go and like I already know. I go into the little paper rulers in the attic, put like 10 or 12 of them out in the attic. Then I come up with wherever it was on the I'd comprehend to this chart, and it'd tell me how much insulation they needed to add, and then I would sell
Wow.
insulation based on that. Because of the measurements on outside, they can do that's the only thing they really do inside, because they can kind of base it still on the roof and all that. And the roofing, obviously, the top program being having been a roofing company, they but they can do concrete, they can do gutters, obviously siding, paint. They have a paint scope. And so they have some cool products. And Jared's one of my friends. I haven't seen him like about once every 2 or 3 weeks out getting a beer where I go usually. So it's kind of
Nice.
cool. So if I get scope tech from Jared, I can hook up with HomeWise and get kind of that data. Eventually, the whole idea is being able to, if we could get lead generation, go find out how we can put our people first with foreclosures and probate, having people come to us, kind of like being an open door.
Hmm.
Except we're going to buy your house. It's still the we buy ugly houses, but you don't have to deal with the middleman. You come to us because
Right.
I tell people all the time, it's not them that are going to they're not buying the house most 90% of the
Right.
time. Yeah. So if we
Right.
do that, you go to lead generation, then we can go to deal analysis and doing the scope of work, and then funding kind of go hand in hand, and then going into closing and disposition, whatever you're doing with it, are you renting it or flipping it? Those are the
Yeah.
different components of what we're trying to incorporate. So
Nice.
I'm using a lot of AI because it's just and there's some people that laugh out there. Well, people like I expected people to laugh over the reindeer name. Nobody does once I
Right.
explain it to them. They're like, yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. I got
Right.
Rudolph in my eye to look up to make sure he wasn't trademarked. It's like Mickey Mouse. Like you could use Mickey Mouse now because the public domain is like that. They're all the stuff expired. Like Disney, like
Mm.
whoever had Rudolph as a trademark, it actually expired before I was born.
Wow.
And so I
Huh.
used
Nice.
Rudolph, the reindeer thing, and I thought it was funny. And I want to
Yeah.
create like a talking reindeer as like a character, that's like a,
Right.
kind of like the gecko and the
Yeah.
duck and all that stuff and the emu, and kind of having
Right.
like a couple of different, because I think people gravitate to that. They get a little entertainment and they get some laughs. And
Right.
this guy's really cool. I mean, this guy's really good. He's very authoritative and commanding and has the confidence. And a normal person can't. You can literally make a character, and the
Wow.
AI looks really good. I mean, there's some pictures that make that of him that sometimes they'll screw up, and then I go back and reload the picture they did for me.
Right.
But it's
Right.
kind of cool. I use it to my benefit now and to everybody's benefit in the group because I can. I mean, yeah, you see the level of what I've just generated even today over the
Wow.
weekend is just incredible. Like 100 scenarios, like, and it comes up, and the formulas are all coming out perfect. If they're not, I'm able to go in and tweak them. And basically, all the
Awesome.
formulas for all the cap rates. So people had to like, I'm trying to get all this stuff organized and put names on it and organize it, and it's just really how to deliver it. Zip files, because to the outsiders and the people outside the group, I'm going to try to put these in these ebooks, generate revenue that way. And then for everybody that's in the group, you guys have access to it. Everybody that goes on Patreon and Agents Gather, because Danny has to create a link and a way for outsiders to subscribe who don't
Mm.
join Agents Gather. Because there's, that's where we have to, that's the next phase of that. Like everybody that's on there now. And then if you want some help too, if you want some blog ideas too or something, I can generate, like, tell me exactly what you want to do. I'll go generate like 100 blog posts, and it'll give you actually the blog posts, and you can just go in and copy and paste in the Agents Gather if you want.
Wow.
I'll do that for. So let me know, like I can exactly what markets you're in, Michigan or
Yeah.
something where you're buying, and I can create that and send it over to you and email it to you, and then you can just copy and paste.
Awesome.
I'm gonna try to do that as much as I can for everybody in the group.
Right.
As much as the time, it depends on, obviously on time. I can't like Danny's doing this thing where he's helping, he can help 100 people. He'll do a blog post a week for 100, or a post or whatever. And I'm like, that's a lot of, he's going to have to get a VA or something to help him because he's
Right.
like 100
Right.
bucks. He's like 100 bucks a month. I'll run your social
Um,
media on Agents Gather too. That's like, that's $10,000 a month of income to him, which supports his, because real estate's awesome right now this year, but it dies in our town. He's still a one man show. He
wow.
doesn't have anybody work for him. He has an executive. I think he's actually working from his house now. He has his office, and he's got a reputation. Like people love him, and he's competing against Sotheby's, Remax, Coldwell Banker. Every real estate agency in my town has like a half a dozen to 10 agents, and
Yeah.
obviously the broker, the broker owner has money to spend, and Danny's
Right.
able to work circles around him.
Wow.
So
Crazy.
he's a great resource, and I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to him yet. I can,
I
you know,
haven't.
okay, I'll make sure that happens. I'll get you his cell phone number, let him know if you want to, because that way
Okay.
he can get you going on there since you paid for it. I try to go,
Yeah.
give everybody lifetime access to it because it's phenomenal.
Nice.
Once you're able to get on there and you can build, do your page, do a blog, whatever you want to do, you're gonna be like rocking and rolling because you can, and then I can, like I said, I can feed you a lot of stuff.
Oh,
Cool, dude.
cool, cool.
I'll see you Thursday if you're on. Like I said, if you got anything working, let me know. Um,
We'll
I,
do.
I'm going to try to see if I get Ari and maybe Cam or Casey and some other people on lender wise. We used to have a lot. Like
Oh,
sometimes it's just there's a lot of people that got zoomed out.
right.
I
Right.
got to look
It's
at
hard to
how.
keep up
Yeah,
with it all.
yeah. I mean, it's.
Um,
So I was joking like Doris and Bill and Zeke have like almost 100 zooms apiece, and they're like, well,
right.
and I'm like, the only person that's got more is me, and because I have to be on them. Everybody, they're like,
Right.
I think Zeke's number one and Bill's two and Doris is three of everybody. And then I got some
Oh.
people that are about half of what Doris has. But there's a lot of people.
Mm.
We used to have like 20,
Yep.
25 people on, but some people joined the group and they got what they needed. They're still in it. They'll pull what they need resource wise. Some people come and go.
Right.
Some, whatever reason they decided to do it, it's cool.
Yep.
So, all right, cool.
All right, bud.
Yep. I'll talk to you later then. Sounds good.
All right.
I'll
Have
see
a
you
good night.
Thursday. Cool.
See you.